And we're back with what potentially could be the last edition of After Hours, because we got a major Hurricane Ian heading our way. It's looking like it's going to hit right here, Southwest Florida, Fort Myers, Cape Coral. I know Tampa's definitely going to get slammed pretty good. So
be the best blowjob you ever got.
We got a good crew here today.
Tyler said it's Donald Trump's fault.
It might be.
It's part of the insurrection.
Hey, you got a generator over there or no?
You know what? After when I moved, when I had 10 years ago to this day, I always told the story a couple times on the TV shows. I had Hurricane Sandy up in New York. I lost power for 3 weeks. I was living in my warehouse. I was living in the office, John. You know the office, in the studio there, and thank God for that. But I said when I moved to Florida, I said I will never deal with another hurricane again. And I said, and I actually was looking to get a generator, and then we got hit with Irma down here, Hurricane Irma, which I lost power for 3 days. I was so mad that I didn't have a generator. As soon as Irma was over, I went out and I paid a lot of money, and I put a full house generator on my house and on the office building here. With a 500-gallon, propane tank in the ground. So, assuming the generator turns on, because it goes on automatically on its own. If the power goes down, we should have power here. So,
now, Dave,
yes.
There's a very important switch that you have to make sure they put in.
It's on.
That separates when the generator goes on. You got to separate your house from the main electricity.
Yes.
If your generator goes on while you're still hooked up to the main line, you're going to be powering the neighborhood.
Yeah, well, what happens is, there's these like little modules that will delay certain things turning on so that everything doesn't try to turn on at once, because then the generator can't handle the power output. John, I've spent so much money on these generators, and I said to myself when I put them in, I said, I don't care if I never have to use them ever. The deterrent alone, it's like a nuclear. It's like having missiles in your
it's
missile
like
silos.
An insurance policy.
Yes,
but Dave, you said that you don't want to. That you moved to Florida in the hopes of never having a hurricane again. And isn't that like
no? I said I moved to Florida. When I did, I said I never want to have to deal with a hurricane in the sense that
you moved to Hurricane Alley. That's like saying,
That's like saying
my house. Look, if my house goes down. If my house falls down, then there's no hope for all of Lee County, because I got 160 mile per hour rated house. Even this building is 150 miles. If this thing blows down, then there's no hope for anyone. I got news for you, because there's wood frame houses here.
Does that mean it would be like bottles of species shit floating all over like the river and
snakes, reptiles?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
You got with all them rats and shit.
Yeah, what would happen if all your snakes got out?
It would be horrible.
You could change the ecosystem down there.
Plus wouldn't they slither into like the Everglades and mate with the pythons?
The problem is they are pythons, and secondly, I'm not near the Everglades. But yes, we might have a Cape Coral population of wild breeding snakes.
A hybrid, a dangerous hybrid population.
It's it's a joke, but it's really not, because you don't know what it's like. Kind of like Russian roulette. You don't know what you're going to get, so to speak. So we'll see. Yeah. Tyler might actually be staying here in the office. So
now, wait a second. I got to make an announcement, because Jimmy just showed up.
Oh, there he is.
Now last week we had a couple of encounters. One of them at King Cullen that he's got to talk about this week.
All right, but before I introduce Jimmy,
he's moaning a lot right now.
He's moaning. I wanted to say,
I just fucked up my back, John.
See that?
Hold on, just stretch.
I'm a jerk off.
Jimmy, stretch for like 5 minutes or for 5 seconds. I just want to introduce Armon, Adibi.
I'll pull you back then. I gotta put the ice pack on my back.
All right,
go ahead.
Get it on. I need you. Don't hang up this phone, though.
What'd you say? 5 minutes?
No. I said like 30 seconds. You got
heat.
Oh, 30 seconds?
No, you can take a couple minutes if you need it. That's fine.
No, this is going to take more than 30 seconds. Come on, Dave.
All right, go get your ice pack.
Yeah,
You got a shitty
find a better place with better Wi-Fi.
Go find a mountaintop. Go find a mountaintop.
All right, I'll pull up more to the front.
All right.
Yeah, do that.
I am on a mountaintop. Look.
You're in like a cornfield. We need some place where you have a Wi-Fi connection.
All right, I'll pull up to the house in the front there.
All right. While Jimmy's pulling up, I just want to introduce Armon Adibi, who's joining us today. Thank you for joining. Armon and I worked together for many years. I've known him for over 20 years now. Good guy. You know, he's a bodybuilder for life and overcame a lot of obstacles. And, you know, I wanted to bring him on the show. We had some good topics to talk about. What's going on in your life, Armon?
Nothing. Everything's going well. You know, we met initially at Junior National.
You're right.
That's where I met you. I was sitting at a table, my first Junior Nationals. That's when Junior Nationals was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then
wait, Armon, not to interrupt you, weren't you on the Leo show? I remember seeing you on the Leo show.
Yes.
Troublemaker.
You admit that?
Unfortunately, yes.
What happened?
You admit it?
Why? What happened with Leo? Did he go? Don't tell me he went crazy on you like he went crazy on me.
Yeah. You know, so Boston is the one that got me on the show. He contacted me because I've known Boston since 2000 for about 15 years. How long have you known him, Dave? How long did you know Boston?
I would say at least, almost 15 years, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so about the same. And then so he convinced me to come on the show. I was like, who is this guy? Like, did you have any information about him? Like, who is he? And he's like, oh, he's cool. He's nice, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, you know, so I came on just like as a one-time thing. I guess the viewers liked our chemistry, mainly me and Boston's. And then they asked me to be a permanent fixture. I was like, okay. I could tell from the beginning, though, the guy wasn't, you know, he's very negative all the time. He has no clue about bodybuilding at all. So I felt like he used Boston. Well, I knew he used Boston to, you know, because first I think he had Nick on the show.
Nick Trigilli, yeah.
And then Boston. So I was like, yeah, I'll become a fixture. And then we started doing the show. This dude would miss, you know, like, podcast all the time. We'd be scheduled. I had my kids like, you know, go pay to put them in play care, right. Be ready. And we're just sitting here and Blue Taylor was a part of it. Just sitting here waiting for him. Doesn't show up. Like it would happen here and there. And I'm like, Boston, dude, I don't have time for this. And then, you know, he ghosted for a while and, you know, this whole Dave thing, I never knew what their deal was. And then, you know, he's like, go watch the episode of him on the show. And I saw y'all were in it wasn't nasty. It was just a debate.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see the big deal about his animosity towards you. So, you know, he always wanted to talk and bash. And I'm like I was very close with Dave and I went through a rough time. Me and Dave lost contact for a while. Well, he gave me some tough love that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't talk we still checked in with each other. So I was very uncomfortable when he started doing the bashing. And I told Boston, I was like, you know, we both like love Dave. Like, he's like, yeah. And then Boston and, you know, Dave, of course, had their relationship too. And, you know, Boston, I guess, just took it as playing around. And I'm like, no, this is detrimental. This is serious. This is Boston's always kidding, but this is vicious what this guy is trying to do. It's evil. It's vicious. I'm not comfortable with it, and I don't want to do episodes about it. So all that. And then the last episode, it was just too much. And I even got involved a little bit. And, you know,
that's why I was surprised to see you on. I didn't know. That's why I was saying, weren't you on the Leo show? So what happened?
Yeah. So basically, after the last episode, you know, me and Dave spoke. You know, Dave told me some things I already knew. I was just trying to like ignore it because I was like, this is a good platform. I can, you know, maybe he'll get over this bashing. And so me and Dave spoke, and I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I got to get out of it. I got to not do this podcast anymore. Boston's gone. It's not going to be the same. This guy is, when he had his deal with Milos, he was like, hey, I need you to get as much dirt on Milos and we all need to attack him. I'm like, me personally, I've been in the industry forever, but I don't know Milos personally.
Right.
And I'm not going to go talk bad about some guy I don't even know. And he was so vicious and crazy about it. It was actually like scary. I'm like, this dude's scary. And so
Armon, he threatened to come down to Jersey. He said he knows people in Jersey because I made fun of people with small dicks on the show. And I said something about PJ's dick being small. Dude, he fucking threatened to send people to come get me. I'm like, this guy's not fucking right. He must be on drugs doing crazy shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this guy.
And not only that, dude, like with me, oh my God, you should have seen it. And I probably had the least amount of comments about Boston. And he even threatened me saying, it's like, oh, well, I know cribs in prison. I know all these gang members, because I was telling him, I was like, man, he was saying, like, you're nothing but a bitch and all this other stuff. And I'm like, whoa, dude. It's like all I'm trying to do is be a good person reaching out to you, telling you, it's like, hey, I did not say anything negative towards Boston Lloyd, because Boston Lloyd and I were actually cool. Not to the extent of me knowing him like Dave and all that other stuff. But what is this with you sending me these messages saying I'm a bitch, that you're gonna come to like Miami and like kill me, and like literally like shit that I could like literally take to like a police officer and be like, hey, you know, this person is like threatening my life. I mean, fortunate enough, like, you know, he calmed down, and I was able to get him to that point where he and I were able to speak in a professional manner. But dude, those first couple of those first couple of days, it was just insane. And you know, I did a video apologizing, you know, about my comment, even though, you know, just for the sake of just trying to squash it, because he was just going at everybody here. And I was just like, look, man, let me just squash it as like right now in the butt. I did a video apologizing, even though I don't even know for what, because I never said anything bad about Boston Lloyd. You know, Boston Lloyd. I think honestly, I think the way he's flipping, like, because I was friends with him, you know what I mean? But he goes from like going crazy on you for something so stupid, right, to being like apologetic, and he almost makes it like, makes you feel sorry for him in a way, so that you don't talk bad about him online, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just think he's like, I don't know what he's doing exactly. I mean, I know he's with Tony, who knows what drugs they're doing over there now.
That's
but
funny, because I'll tell you this. I never had a problem with Leo. I always thought Leo was a good guy, and he's a very smart guy. I just feel like
you say that about everyone every single week.
No, but I did. I did.
Leo's a good dude, right?
And Greg is doing it with a straight face too.
Wait a minute. Greg, is Adolf Hitler a good dude?
Who?
Adolf Hitler.
I never met him. No, I'm just kidding. Adolf Hitler was a motherfucker. But no,
he wasn't a good dude. No, but what sure?
I'm saying is, he just was misunderstood, John. That's all.
No, but I did it. I actually did a video once where I said that I liked Leo, and I'm not going to get involved with, because Dave's my friend for a long, long time. But I never had a problem with Leo. I didn't see that psycho side to him. Like, he never. You know, I think he's a nice guy. I mean, I always had good. No, but wait, you guys don't understand. He's talked to me,
Greg,
and I've never.
John is not saying anything, right?
For political office, because you are the best politician.
Yes.
You fucking love everybody, axe murderers, child molesters, everybody. Everybody's a good dude.
Remember when he went to court? John, remember when we went to court with Blackman?
I'll finish off the story real quick.
Yeah, Armon, go ahead.
Yeah. Hold on. Greg goes to court. Greg goes to court to sue Blackman because Blackman won't pay him like unemployment.
No, I didn't sue him. I wanted my money.
Yeah.
He owed me money. I wanted my money.
Yeah, and he wouldn't pay you, and he leaves court.
No, but he stopped me.
The judge orders him to pay you, and then you're like, Steve's a good guy.
No, but Dave, Dave's my friend, and I'm never, my loyalty is always going to be to Dave. You know what I'm saying? That's, I don't like to see any of that fighting stuff. I hate that, to be honest with you. But Dave, is my friend. You know what I mean? My Dave's like a brother to me. So I don't, always be obviously,
So let me finish off real quick, so we don't have to talk about
this. Talk bad about Dave, but anymore.
So, after that batch, when someone passes away, everybody's emotions are all over the place, right? Like, some people mourn differently. So he was amping me up, about certain people. And I was like actually upset because, I got very close with Boston this last year, texting every night. So one of the episodes, I had no clue it was going to go like that. And afterwards, I me and Dave spoke. I didn't even watch it because I was just uncomfortable the whole time. I told my wife, watch it. What do you think? She's like, get away. And I know. And so I had to get away. So we went back and forth. I said, hey, I'm just not really interested in bashing people. And he goes, no, it'll never happen again. Let's just go straight for, the show. I'm not going to get all the details of what his personal life is right now, John, and we could do something separate. But I was just like, and so because he's like, that's fine. If you don't want to be on the podcast, you don't have to be on the podcast. That's fine. And I said, thank you, thanks. And so then I start getting all these messages on WhatsApp, like the voice messages. Brother, I really respect you. I want you on here. You're a big asset. This and this and this. I was busy. I was doing a consult with somebody. Then he was calling Blue like crazy, and then calling my WhatsApp like crazy because he was in Portugal at the time. So finally, I get all these voice messages saying, Armon, I want you on here. I really respect you. You're a great person. This and this. And I actually checked on this dude a lot. Like when.
Oh,
got cut off.
Man.
What
I'll be
happened?
back.
Borrowed a phone from Jimmy the Bull.
Or
You know what's so
George.
funny? John is sitting there quiet.
Or
though,
George.
No, but you know what's funny? John is sitting there quiet, right, laughing while they're saying, Leo's a
You know
good
what's-
guy.
you know
Because
What's
in the
going on
meantime,
with all this? I don't
John
know.
got fucking threatened a million times by him.
Because John's like me. He
Yeah, I
doesn't.
know.
It's not worth our breath. Basically.
No, he threatened he was going to ruin me.
Yeah.
Ruin your job,
I had three
yeah,
days
ruin everything,
before
yeah.
my ruination.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? He came back and then we lost him again? Okay.
So apparently I'm ruined, John.
And Rich
Yeah,
Gaspari shouldn't hire
Nothing
you.
salvageable.
Yeah.
And Rich
apparently-
Gaspari shouldn't hire you. Remember that?
But what's going
Right.
on? Like, is your problems with Tony huge too? Because he's a good guy too. I mean, I know Tony. No, but I mean, Tony and I go back and forth. I got some crazy stories.
Look who I got. Oh, I got Tyler Jr. here.
No way, that's his name. You named your dog after Tyler?
Now Baxter. This is not my dog. This is Tyler's dog. Doesn't it look just like
Oh.
Tyler?
Kind of does.
That's usually the case, though. They always say that.
Tyler, you should have called that dog Donald for Trump.
His name's
Oh, we got him back. All right.
All right, Armand, go ahead. Finish.
Get Armon.
Okay, let me finish real quick. So sorry, I'm using my freaking phone.
okay.
And then the last message was just like, hey, Boston never even liked you. I don't like you. I don't want you on the podcast. Fuck you. I'm like, okay. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, and I said, okay, there's your true colors. Appreciate it. Take care. And that was it. And then I was so relieved because, very toxic guy, and then, Boston wanted to see the good in him. I don't know how, because all I see is evil. Like the stuff he talks about, what he talks about. And,
But Armand,
If
you
he
notice
just-
he has a way of making you feel bad?
oh yeah. And I'm a strong, driven person. And
Yeah.
for someone, he would make me feel bad about him. He reminds me of, Dave knows the guy too. He reminds me of this certain person I grew up with. I was really close with, just the same way, like sociopathic tendencies, all that.
Yeah.
And he made me feel a certain way towards Dave. And I'm like, wait, no, Dave. Me and and on other episodes, I was like, I've never experienced anything with Dave. And they were like, no, wait, well, you haven't been dealing with him the past few years. And so I'm like, I've known Dave 20 years and, very close. I mean, we used to speak on a daily basis. He helps me with shows. I was with this company. I mean, and he has a way, and it's very tricky. And then Boston, unfortunately, fell into it. And unfortunately passed away, and, and so that's it. So, another YouTuber contacted me, and John been talking, and we have a lot of crazy stuff. Like, you check on a person, you care, just to be cordial, and then they just flip. I never spoke to the guy outside of the podcast. I would check on him like, hey, you okay? And he would tell me all these crazy stories. And then a few days later, he's like, oh, sorry, I was lying because I was embarrassed. And Boston said he has about 40 to 50 prescriptions of like mind altering, like SSRI, stuff like that he messes with constantly.
Has to be that then. Has to
Boston's last days, I I messaged David about this. He put him. Boston said, Armon, I really feel like really bad. This is the first time ever I've felt really, really shitty in a long time. I'm like, what have you changed? He goes, I started taking this medicine. I'm like, what's it for? And it was for blood sugar. I can't remember the name. I texted Dave about it.
It was one of those GLP peptides. Yeah.
And it was kidney toxic.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why are you taking this? Your blood sugar's fine. He goes, I don't know. He just suggested it to me.
Wow.
And I'm like, you didn't. And knowing Boston, I figured Boston would ask. But this guy gives out a lot of very dangerous information about pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but Greg but he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, I never had problems with him. I mean,
If you notice, John Romano and I, John Romano and I haven't said anything. You know why? Because it's not worth our breath to even
but I don't
justify.
like people bashing Dave. I'm not. I even did a video about that. I won't take anybody else's side over Dave. Dave's my, Dave's my brother.
Armon can attest to this, Greg. Though
you too,
guys,
John.
Listen,
there's a difference
We've all been together a long time.
Listen, the voice messages that he sent me, I couldn't stop actually laughing at them. I showed my family because he's basically saying I'm a disgrace to the Arab community because I'm not on his show and I'm on Dave's show. And
Dude, who's Dave? Mine. Dave and the who? Dave's the what?
The Jews.
The Jews. Right. He's like, you guys are all Jews now because you're with me. The Jewish.
Jew by association.
And I'm a disgrace to the Arab community because I'm with the Jews.
He's a racist. He's
I'm getting a contact
religious bigot.
I'm Italian, and we're all like Jews. We got the big nose and stuff.
Do you even understand how close Italians and Jews are? You're fucking interchangeable.
That's what I'm saying. We're Italian, same shit.
Especially in New York.
An Italian mother and a Jewish mother are carbon copies.
That's right.
They're exactly the same. Yeah. You look hungry. Right. You should be married by now. When's your mom going to have another grandchild? At this rate, I'm going to die before, Enos over there, she's already got 2 grandchildren. I don't have any. They're all the same. They're all exactly the same.
That's true.
And Tony's so nice, right? Though. He's going to just, give him a chance probably because I'm like that. I'm like, until they show me their true colors, like whatever, kind of like Greg, like, if I don't know them about this person, I'm going to give them a chance, no what matter. Because people have talked horrible about me about
too. I'm the same way,
probably before. Yeah. And then you meet the person, you're like, oh, this person's actually a decent person.
Yep.
So
we're all like that. And that's the problem. That's where we're too trusting. So.
Until you shit on me, then I don't hate anybody.
Do we have Jimmy on the line?
Yeah, Jimmy's here.
Jimmy,
but can I say one thing about Jimmy to Pletz?
Let's transition for a second because he's not worth. He's really not worth our breath. So let's. I'm glad that you told where you came from, Jimmy. I have to put up a video or a story. Tyler, can you pull that story up?
Hey, could you hear me good?
Yes.
Wait,
before you go on your rant, I want to show you a story. NASA has a new program that just they slammed. It's called what is it called? The DART project, where they slammed an asteroid with a probe or something like that they sent. And they're trying to show that they can deflect asteroids. And I wanted to get your opinion on this whole thing.
There's no such thing as asteroids.
Pull up the asteroid.
They're hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids, I agree with.
It's kind of like the movie Armageddon. There it is. Do you believe that that's a real asteroid, Jimmy?
Oh that looks like a ball sack, Jimmy. That's Dave's ball sack after he shaved it. He shaved it. Those are shave bumps on there.
The golf ball, right?
No, I have saggy balls though. That's too tight right there.
What am I looking at? It looks like a hornet's nest. What is it?
Looking at an asteroid that's being slammed with a probe that we sent 7 million miles away from Earth to hit this thing to see if we can do it.
Did we do it?
Yeah, it hit it.
Doesn't it?
They're cheering. Yeah, they're cheering. They hit it. Yeah, Jimmy, do you what's your opinion on this?
It hit. That looks like the moon's surface. What is that thing there?
It's an asteroid.
That's an asteroid. It's funny how all that shit looks the same out there. You know what I mean?
Hey,
who's filming that? Wait a minute. So how did you get a
No, what they did was no. They deploy before the probe actually got to the asteroid. They deployed another like a sub probe off of there that was the cameras, so they can film it from there because they were 7 million miles away.
Hey,
Wait a
Jimmy,
minute. So let me get.
And I heard Richard Nixon made a phone call to the asteroid telling it it's going to get hit before it got hit too.
Well, that's true. And they had to make that phone call 40 years ago because it took that long for the voice to make it all the way 7 million miles over there. So it would
Very
be
good, John.
today.
Very good.
Jimmy, they can fucking probe that asteroid, but I can't get a cell phone signal downstairs in my house, right?
I'm getting my ass probed November 15th. If anybody wants to come and join me.
Oh, you're finally getting your
gotta
colonoscopy?
Yeah, I gotta.
You were supposed to have it 6 months ago.
They're gonna find some asteroids up there.
They're gonna find a few missing people.
Some hot dogs from 1974 he still has up there.
They're going to find Jimmy Hoffa.
That's gonna be.
So wait a minute, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're telling me? So before we sent this, what is it? What was the missile that hit the?
They sent the
asteroid?
probe there to hit
probe.
it. Yeah, it's a deflection system they're creating in case we need to deflect an
So
asteroid.
was it some sort of a missile?
It wasn't a missile. I think it was actually like a spacecraft, like that they slammed it with. But it was like, yeah, it was like it went like a missile. Yeah, I guess.
Dave,
so like
it was a
like
missile.
bumper cars.
It was a missile.
It was a missile.
okay?
It was a missile.
The fucking missile.
So it was like bumper cars, like on a pool table. They
Right.
sent it up there, and it
What was
knocked
the
the
point of
asteroid
it?
off.
What was the point of hitting
See
the
if
thing
they-
with a
They
missile?
want to see if they can deflect an asteroid. So they took one that has no chance of ever coming to Earth, and they shot something at it to see if they can steer it off course a little bit.
Ah,
Change
did
its
it
Now
work?
they knocked it,
trajectory.
it's coming this way, right?
Did it work?
Yeah, Jimmy,
I
it's
think it
coming to
did.
your
Yeah,
house.
Do they know if it changed its trajectory?
I think they did. I thought they did. It made me read the article. I don't know.
They said they're still like the science.
So
just beginning.
you asked me my opinion, and you guys.
Well, you
rambled
say we
on.
can't even leave the firmament of the Earth. So this is
Well,
7 million miles.
I wanted to ask a couple of questions
Okay.
here. How did they get first? So you're telling me that they sent two things up there because one was the camera.
No, the
right?
camera was
It was on
deployed
the-
from the probe.
No,
so
it's just on the rocket. You see it hit the fucking.
no,
asteroid.
they
So I'm
actually, if you read it,
confused
they
that
actually
you-
deployed
so
the
they
cameras
sent the-
like
they
2
sent
days
the-
earlier, so it could film it. Yeah.
So they sent the probe up there first to get the picture, and then the missile came
No,
after,
no,
right?
it was all one spaceship going towards this asteroid. 2 days before it hit, it released the cameras, I believe, and then the cameras were set on the asteroid, and so they can film the actual thing hitting it. That's at least what I read.
Oh, okay. So in other words, this thing went up as one unit,
Yes.
and it chased this asteroid that was going at 72,000 miles a second,
Yeah.
and somehow they got up there and they flashed a nice 3D HD picture of this fucking thing, and then the missile hit it, and that was all caught on camera.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Correct.
7 million miles from the Earth.
That's right.
Okay, right. And they know how far it was because they measured it, right? So they know it was 7 million.
And Jimmy, if you look
GPS,
closer, you'll
Jimmy.
see Dave Chappelle
And they
with
hit
a
it.
microphone.
Listen, I got to tell you, when I was in the fucking Marine Corps, okay? when I was back in the Marine Corps, all I know, it's very, very hard to hit a moving target. So I don't know how the hell they fucking got a probe up there to chase a fucking rock that was doing fucking ultimate speed, and they were able to capture a nice picture of it, and then hit it with a fucking dummy head rocket so it would move out of the way. Come on, man. That's all fucking indoctrination there.
So,
Come on,
Jimmy,
you kidding me or what?
is it your testimony here today that difficult things, in your
Listen.
opinion, are thus impossible?
John, it ain't difficult. It's common sense, brother.
So,
It's common sense.
moving targets then are not hittable. So all of the jets that fly and do bombing runs and
That's
shoot down
different,
other
brother.
airplanes and
That's
and
called-
dogfight and shoot.
Let me
That's
explain
not
that.
happening because you can't hit a moving target.
You're talking about apples and oranges now, okay? When I was in the Corps and we had a plane, you shot a heat-seeking missile at that motherfucker. He wasn't getting away. Okay, it goes after the heat of the signature of the
Right.
engine.
Flares.
We're talking about something in the cold of space in a vacuum. All right, but this motherfucker made it out there 7 miles, took a motherfucking picture, and then fucking bumped it like a fucking pool ball to get it out of the way. Are you fucking kidding me or what? That's like a fucking Walt Disney story right there. They want to just tell you that to keep you indoctrinated, just like all the other lies. The world's full of lies. I don't want to hear nothing. Everything's a goddamn lie from the politicians down to your best friend. All right? That's what goes on here. That's what's how everybody's a fucking deceiver, a bullshitter, and a fucking fraud. And so's the governments and everybody else in this motherfucker. That's what this fucking place is all about. How about that, John? Forget about your fucking asteroid 7 million miles out.
So basically, the asteroid is behind Nixon's phone call.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, Nixon's phone call's still out there because when he transmitted the fucking phone call, okay, the electronics of the phone call is and the waves, the energy wave, it's still out there. So if you could get a rocket and travel 30 million light years away at light speed, you can still catch Nixon's phone call.
But how can you do that if there's no such thing as space?
That's right.
There's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's all bullshit. Listen, even Lee's catching on. Lee sent me a video of the fucking thing. Who the hell is who filmed the rocket going to the asteroid? That's why what asshole. So in other words, they sent the probe up there, but some other motherfucker was in a rocket with a camera. And he was following the probe. No. Get the fuck out of here, please.
Jimmy, it was unmanned. It was robotic. It wasn't. There was no one in the probe.
He thinks someone would be
Who filmed the fucking guys coming off when the fucking 3 clowns blasted off the moon in '69? Who filmed those motherfuckers? Leave
all right.
I want to know that.
All right, you win. There's no such thing. Jimmy, wait. Now that you're riled up,
Jimmy's right.
Tell the story from last week
it's
about
all fucking bullets.
Jimmy, are you listening to me or not?
He doesn't listen.
Tell the story from last week.
I'm pissed off at myself right now. You know why, John? Because I was on a fucking job. The guy says, Jimmy, do me a favor. Can we move this Tampa, put it on the pickup truck? Meanwhile, he's got a payload of fucking 10 feet away. I'm like, yeah, sure. So we lift the fucking Tampa, and we're struggling to get the thing on the fucking tailgate because the tailgate was like past my hip, and we're struggling, and we finally get the fucking Tampa on it, and all of a sudden I felt my back. I had to take the Advils. I had to put a cold pack on my back all the way out of here, east to Riverhead. I'm all fucked up because I'm stupid. I'm stupid because I should have just said, yo, bring the payloader over here. We'll load the camper on the bucket, and we'll lift it up into the truck like gentlemen. No, you fucking moron.
Jimmy. All right. Enough of the fucking camper.
King Kong in my mind. I'm not King Kong. I'm like fucking Mary had a little lamb these days.
He turns a switch. You know, he like flips a switch. There's like nothing going on in his brain right now. So, Jimmy, where are you? Jimmy.
Tell the King Cullen story.
Tell the fucking King Cullen story.
I want to hear it, and I got the VA story too.
That one,
get the fuck out of here because I got to go home laying on an ice bed.
I know you don't want to be a part of the show when you're not talking. Just tell the King Cullen story.
Tell the King Cullen story.
King Cullen, man, I fucking got off work. I was starving. It was like 6 o'clock. I'm fucking starving, and I get starving. I get very agitated, like probably the rest of us, right?
You know why? Because you go hours and hours without eating. Patience. You go hours and hours without eating. Why do you wait 8 hours before you eat?
Because it's very hard day when you're in a dump trailer on a
Bring a sandwich with you, like everyone else does.
I bring my lunch. I bring a ham and Swiss and a turkey. It does nothing for me. I need meat. I need substance. I can't eat cold cuts no more.
Cold cuts isn't doing it.
So I go with King Cullen at 6 o'clock. I walk in King Cullen. I get my wagon. I'm boogieing around King Cullen. You know what I mean? So I get all my shit. I'm fucking starving. I go up to the front. I don't know what it is. What happens with these supermarkets at night, but they got one cashier out of 10 lanes. I go up there and I'm like, where the hell's all the cashiers? I got one fucking lane open. And who it is? Bug Eyes there. The bitch that never puts the belt on for me. I said, not this motherfucker. Not now. I said, please, Lord. I just want to get my food. I want to get out of here. And this is the true story. So all of a sudden, I pull her to the lane. There's a lady in front of me. She's packing her bags. And her kid was in the register next to her, crying. And I'm standing there going, all right, Jimmy, get it together, you know. Wait for the girl to pack her bags. Don't worry about the kid crying because it's a kid. Don't get all fucked up. You had kids too. Well, my kids never did that. But anyway, this kid's doing it. Don't get upset. You know. I wanted to go over there and strangle this motherfucker, but I was like, okay. He's crying. The girl's packing her bags. All of a sudden, she drops her fucking blueberries, bro. She drops the box of blueberries. They go all over the floor. All of a sudden, the buggy, I guess the microphone, Herbie, aisle 5, blueberries on the ground. Herb, all of a sudden, Herb shows up. Something's wrong with Herb, too. He goes on and he gets on his hands and knees. He's picking them up one at a time on his hands and knees. And I'm watching him. I'm going, I said, Herb. And meanwhile, this is all going on. The lady dropped the blueberry. She took off. I don't know where she went. Her packages are still on the fucking thing in the belt. Buggy eyes yelling at Herb. I started in. I said, Herb, maybe you need a fucking broom and a shovel, Herb. You're going to be here forever with this 75 blueberries. The guy looks up at me from all fours, John. He looked up. Don't bother. Leave me alone with my blueberries. Leave me alone. Don't touch. Just stay away. Just leave me. Don't bother me. Don't talk to me. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's fucking tweaked too. And the fucking kid, the guy yelling about the blue. And the bug-eyed bitch at the fucking thing. Then the fucking girl comes back. I don't know where she was. I think she bought a scratch off. Came back. She gets her bags. She pays for her shit. She leaves. And the fucking kid's still screaming there. Now I pull my wagon up. The guy's yelling at me. My blueberries. Don't go in. Back at him. Back up. Go around. And now I'm in the lane with the fucking thing that comes out and says lane closed. I don't struggle picking that fucking thing up. I go around. I'm packing my bags. Right? I'm saying to myself, the kid's still crying. This guy's screaming about his blueberries on the fucking floor. See, after I packed my fucking wagon, I started to go. He's like, my blueberries. I said, no problem, bro. I can step on your blueberries. I backed up. I went around. Bro, when I left that supermarket, my hands were going like this when I got in the car. I said, where was I just now? Was I in some kind of an insane asylum? My fucking hands are dry. I couldn't wait to get home and to cook something to fucking eat. Jesus Christ.
Moral of the story. Moral of the story is don't go into the supermarket starving. That's the moral of the story.
Jimmy, what did you make?
He ate blueberries.
I made a fucking shoe leather steak. It tastes like the bottom of a shoe. Then I go to the VA last Tuesday. I told you I had to go. I go to the VA, right, Greg? I sit down. I run across the parking lot because I'm late. I run into the VA. I sit down. The girl takes my blood pressure right away, my weight and all that. She goes, oh, boy. She goes, your blood pressure's a little high. I just ran across the parking lot because I was late. I was getting you. I said, take it in a half hour, would you? You're taking it now. She says, calm down. Don't worry about it. She takes my weight. I go inside and meet the doctor. They put the computer up. She's asking me all these questions. Do you want to hurt anybody? Yes, I do want to hurt people. Yes. Yeah, sometimes I do. Is that not normal? And all of a sudden she says, I got a whole thing of questions to ask you here. New ones that just came in. I said, yeah, go ahead, ask me. How do you identify yourself? I said, how do I identify myself? I said, not here too in the VA. She said, yes, I'm sorry, they just came here. I said, what do you mean, how do I identify? She goes, transvestite, transgender, gay, bisexual, female, and then the last thing that got me fucking nuts, she said queer. I said, queer?
I didn't know that was a category.
Since 1972, I never had heard that word in fucking 40 years. Queer. I stood up, I said, I love women. You see this here? I'm a man. I love breasts. I love vaginas. I'm a man. She goes, calm down, Jimmy. Sit down. I know they're fucked up questions. I know, because I know the nurse. She sits down. She goes, let me calm down. Let me take your blood pressure. I said, no, you're not taking my blood pressure now. You just called me queer. How do you call you queer? It's on the questionnaire. I said, no, you called me fucking queer. She goes, I didn't call you queer. It's on the questionnaire. Calm down, please. I said, Jesus Christ. That was it. This is what goes on in my life.
So what do you identify yourself as, Jimmy?
A fucking daily basis.
Jimmy, what box did you check?
He identifies himself as a blueberry.
I stood up. When she called me a queer, I stood up and I said, look at me. I'm a man. I love breasts. I love vaginas. I'm a fucking man. She's like, calm down, Jimmy. They're just questions. I said, no, they're not queer. You called me queer. No, I didn't call you queer. It's a questionnaire. I said, no. You asked me if I'm queer. I don't go that shit, man. She said, calm down, please. Holy shit.
The best part of the whole story is that she wanted to take your blood pressure after that rant you went on.
The dumb bitch wanted to take my blood pressure.
Yeah.
To call me queer. She saw me stand up and fucking, I was infuriated.
Yeah, but this is the one that likes him.
Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's the one I like. Imagine that's the one that likes me.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They do that with
These
NYPD
people must go
right
home
now.
and tell their family these stories. They probably don't even believe them, I'm sure.
I'm sure. No, they probably say they probably have said so many of these stories that the kids come home and they say, "Are there any Jimmy the Bull stories?"
Right, because he's there every day. Right, you're right, John. All right, let's. Are you?
I gotta go, but I tell you, the blueberry story was. I couldn't even. If you had a camera there and filmed it, you would have said, "Holy
Johnny
shit,
Bravo,
holy
you're
shit,
missing some
I'm
very
thinking-
good footage there. If you were only around Jimmy a little bit more there, you'd be making some great
I can't
documentaries.
even believe this shit actually happens. Like,
Oh,
does
it
this
does. To
shit
him,
Oh,
all
I
the
was
time.
a fucking,
John, you've got to spend.
John, I was in an insane asylum. I was in a fucking nut house.
You got to spend like an entire day with them to understand.
I think
what
a week.
happened.
You need to
It's
follow
my
him for
personal-
You know
a
what
week.
it's like? I'll give you a great analogy. It's like if you had a coffee can full of metal shavings, all right, and then a giant magnet, okay? The magnet is Jimmy the Bull, and the shavings are every conceivable problem in the universe, all right? And you get that magnet this far from the metal shavings, and they go zoom right to the magnet.
That's right.
That's Jimmy the Bull.
Yeah.
So
You're
listen. Before Thanksgiving, I'm announcing it now. I will make sure I get to Greg
All right.
first, and then from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I'm gonna get to Jimmy.
Yeah,
Well, because Greg goes first because the turkey's going to be under the table.
that's
Well,
right.
we want to
That's
see
right.
Stanford and Son's house.
That's
Everyone
right.
wants to see.
Oh,
it.
you have no idea, bro.
Yeah.
There you go.
No idea.
Yeah, you got no idea, John. You might spend a day with me. You'll say to yourself, that's the last day I'll ever spend with Jimmy the Bull ever, because you're gonna lose your fucking mind just fucking.
Or we're
filming
gonna
this
end up
shit.
in fucking jail.
Yeah.
Either one of the two.
Hey, I gotta tell you something. I want to thank Jimmy the Bull because when my sister died, he called me up and he was like, "I'll come up there right now if you need me and all that
That's
stuff."
Jimmy's a good
Yeah,
guy. Yeah.
Jimmy's a good man.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
he is.
So I gotta
You
thank him.
know, like, listen. Under all this yelling and screaming, man, I got a giant heart, bro.
Yeah, he
You know, I
does.
love all you. I love all you dudes, man. You know I do anything for you. I told John too. I jump in the fucking car, come down to Dave. I'll do
I
anything.
know.
That's just the way I am. I don't give.
Can
I don't
you-
care
can
if I
you
come
stop
down there
this?
my fucking under.
Jimmy.
I'll come down there my last dollar. I don't care if I got to siphon gas out of parked cars on the side of the street to get down there. That's what I'm gonna do.
Can you stop this hurricane from coming?
I'll come down in a hurricane, bro. You know that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't care.
know. All right, well,
You could stop it.
all right. Another topic.
I gotta run.
Yeah, I know you got to
I
run.
gotta take this piece of shit because my boss got a GPS on me. He's gonna know. I gotta tell him. I gotta lie to him. I was taking a shit at the fucking farm.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was in the bathroom.
All right.
My bathroom's back there. That's my shit.
Yeah.
That
All
got
right.
the
I
fire
don't want
eyes,
to see
man.
that bathroom.
Make sure you wipe when you're done, Jimmy, please. Okay.
Oh, I know. I use body
He
towels.
doesn't have to.
All right. Let's.
I got a can in the car.
We'll let you go, Jimmy.
All right. I'll see you guys
All
later.
right. Later.
All right,
Love
Jimmy,
you.
man. I'll
thanks
see you
again,
guys
man. I
later.
love you, bro.
Be careful, Jimmy.
I love you too.
All right.
Yes.
I
I'll
got my
talk to you
son
later.
here. Kids are home
Ciao.
from school. They canceled school. We don't even have a hurricane yet.
Yeah, but Dave,
got
remember
a
last
special
time
guest.
the big hurricane was coming?
No,
okay?
Dave,
It
you know
missed
what I used to
completely.
love about Florida hurricanes? When in the turnpike, they open the toll booths.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. You're right. They don't charge tolls. Yeah.
Nah, it's so flying right through there. That
Yeah.
is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dave, remember the last big hurricane they had a few years back? It missed Florida, like it didn't do
Yeah.
shit. Supposedly it was supposed to be huge. It didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, we got
So
lucky.
maybe
Yeah,
this
it
is the
was-
same shit.
Yeah, it was,
I-
just,
you know what?
it was just torrential downpours.
I don't want to like jinx us by saying that, but yeah, I until it hits, I don't believe it. But you know,
Yeah, you never can tell.
This one
Everything's
seems like
okay.
we're going to get something from it. So
In,
I wanted
in
to
my
bring
next life, I'm coming back as a meteorologist.
Yeah, yeah, those
Because
guys haven't made.
You can be wrong 100% of the
That's right.
time, and
Yeah.
they still fucking pay you.
You're right.
Dude,
You're
people
right.
The only job
evacuated.
on earth that I
You
know.
don't remember, Dave,
of-
last time in Florida, everyone evacuated. They went to different states.
Yep.
They were scared as fuck. It was chaos on the
Dude.
highways.
Dude, I stacked up because during that time I was still out, man. It's like I was right there on 46th Street in Collins. It's like it flooded a little bit. The lake flooded, but man, we stacked the hell up for nothing. We ended up having toilet paper for like a little over
I
a
know.
fucking year.
People
One of
go
my
crazy.
friends.
Save it for
John.
COVID.
Logan and
John, I'm
Mr.
gonna
G are
come
going to
back
go
into
surf the
hurricane
100-foot
and
wave in the hurricane there. So
Yeah.
Mr. G said he was coming over on his jet ski. That's what he told me.
Well, hopefully that happens again. Hopefully it misses and it's bullshit again. Let's just.
All right,
pray.
let-
Well, yeah,
I
I mean,
I want to bring up one more
Mr. G
topic
to
before we
the
wrap the
circle.
show up. Armand and I were talking. You know, there's a lot of these peptide websites out there that sell peptides. You know what I'm talking about? IGF-1,
Yeah.
CJC, ipamorelin. You know, all the BPC 157. And I'm not talking about like the legal forms of these things that you would get at like TitanMedicalCenter.com. I'm talking about like just these gray market, peptide sites that pop up there. And a lot of guys, a lot of bodybuilders have coupon codes for this, where these sites will contact these people and say, hey, Armon, I'm going to give you a coupon code. You want to, anything you sell with the coupon code, I'm going to give you a commission on it. And, a lot of people don't realize, and Armon and I have talked about this, that people just don't know that that's illegal,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
Armon.
because,
Wait, what makes it? What's illegal? Which part of it?
Let Armon talk about it because he had a
Yeah.
personal experience with that. Yeah.
So several years ago, this company contacted me. A lot of companies contacted me for like Instagram. Hey, do you want to work with our peptide company? Give you a coupon code. It's usually they'll give you a coupon code. You give your clients, they use it. This company was willing to pay. I think it was like $3,000 a month too.
Wow.
So I was like,
Okay.
yeah. That sounds good. And so, just put your coupon code there. People use it. Buy your peptides. You get 3,000 plus that. So it wasn't even a week later. Dave texts me. He's like, "What the heck are you doing with that? Working with that company?" I was like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "You can get in trouble for that. Talk to Rick." So I called Rick
Rick
because
Collins.
I met him. I met him years ago at the same party I met Greg. I'm sure Greg doesn't remember. It was at Ulrich's party, one of his after parties years ago.
Oh shit!
You remember that, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always there.
Yeah.
I was always at all his parties. He's a good man.
Yeah. So
Another good man.
Greg's at all the parties sober too. That's the
Great
best part.
guy.
Yeah, he is.
great
I've seen
photographer,
some
too.
crazy shit at some of them parties too, by the way. But go on.
Yeah. So basically, I called Rick. He's like, "Yeah, dude, you can get 15 years conspiracy just for giving those coupon codes out." I'm like, he's like, "Is it going to happen?" Probably not. But if they decide to, and if you have a big enough following, and my following is not huge, I don't have like 1 million or, I'm not a big social media guy. I'm trying to be because it's really hard when you're used to, from the magazines to transition over to social media. I had the hardest time doing that because that transition. I'm sure a lot of other people
I
too.
agree with you, bro. I'm impossible at it.
It's like you had to prove something. You were in the magazines because for a reason, you were valid. But this social media, like, I don't want to bring up anybody. You could just be a kid who lives at your parents' house, be a fan, and the next thing you know, you're making this much a month. You're getting invited to do interviews with Arnold, and it's just crazy.
I've seen him.
So I talked to Rick Collins. He's like, "Yeah, dude, take that down. You can." And so I tell friends. It was just like 2 days ago. This guy, he's on TikTok. He's really, really excited about being on TikTok. I just joined TikTok 7 months ago. I had to really get talked into it because I didn't know anything about it because it's all kids. And
Right.
you're on there and you give out information. They just talk shit to you nonstop. Like
Yep.
the younger kids are all about weird training, weird nutrition. It's like, that's why you're still 180. But, and they're all on SARMs and peptides.
Yeah.
And I was telling this one guy, he owns a nutrition shop in Florida, somewhere in Florida. And I'm like, he was like, yes, he was so happy to get this sponsor saying you can get Clenbuterol and Clomid and these peptides. I was like, man, that's against the law, like to do that. And this guy was just so excited he got this sponsor. And because he was a weight loss client, he lost like 200 pounds. He's a big guy, like 6'7". I just been friendly with him on TikTok. He's a real nice guy. And so I was like, yeah, man, you can't have that stuff. Like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you advice. I get it. You can make money and you've been working with this company for a while. And just give it to your friends. Don't post it and tell the whole world because you are developing a following. And he's like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I was like, I would probably erase that video with you just like jumping with joy. And he just probably just like busted his bubbles. But I was like, but people don't know about it. And it's all these federal laws about peptides. And it sucks because, they used to be legal.
I know.
Especially now the past 3 years. The federal laws specific to mislabeling, misbranding peptides and SARMs have been crazy stringent. I mean, I remember I went in on 2017 and like SARMs, peptides were still good during that time because even when I got out of bond, if you remember, Dave, when I got
tried
out
to
of bond,
fucking sell it, Rich, and they threw your ass in prison. The day I was in fucking Florida, I took a flight to Florida to interview Rich, And the motherfucker's in jail because of that shit. I ended up having to go to fucking Jason Genova and film him.
They wanted to supersede me. They wanted to supersede me because as soon as I got out on bond, I already had a peptide business doing over $1,500 a day in sales. But the fact is that the laws, they haven't changed then. But at 2018, late 2018, I started seeing all these cases coming in, people getting popped while I was in NBC Brooklyn, even for mislabeling. People that were having supplements that would just say proprietary blend to cover up a particular ingredient that was borderline gray were being given 5 years, 6 years, 7 years.
Really?
And I'm like, yeah. And I was like looking at this shit like, holy crap. So when I'm looking at this and still contemplating on whether or not going to trial, I'm like, nah, fuck this. I'm taking a plea deal.
Wait, you guys remember greatwhitepeptides.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've talked to that guy before, especially before they took everything from him. Millions.
Yeah, but you know what I don't like about all that stuff is all these young kids in the gym think by taking that it's not going to affect their liver or their kidneys. They think, steroids are worse for you. And I'm like, dude,
the other way around.
Fucking mind.
Yeah.
Anything
It's
you
the other
take,
way around.
right? You're not going to. They think like if they're not going to get side effects.
A lot of those peptides raise blood pressure a lot, you know.
Well, how do you know even? But Dave, how do you even know? Like when you buy, like say you get tamoxifen,
You don't even know, right? You don't even know if it's real, right?
You don't.
I mean, yeah, you don't even know if.
But
What's
do you know
100%
melanotan? Melanotan raises blood pressure a lot. You know, people don't even realize that, and they're down in that stuff every day. I mean, their blood pressure.
Especially when it's on on a girl with a bikini, it'll really raise your blood pressure.
Oh, dude, supposedly it causes kidney damage. I gave it to one of my ex-girlfriends. She got fucking obsessed with it. She would take it year round. She wouldn't fucking listen to me.
Did she turn purple?
Dude, it was disgusting. She honestly looked, and no offense to, colored people, but she looked like a colored person.
Yeah.
No, but it turns you purple almost. It doesn't just make you dark. You get like purple looking.
I know. I think back in the 1920s.
It's PC.
Your lips get purple looking. Yeah.
You remember Lenny?
Yeah.
Lenny was big into.
Yeah, Lenny was purple. He definitely turned.
Yeah.
He looked like Barney the dinosaur.
He loved
no
that
offense.
shit.
Okay,
But
Dave.
it makes you so nauseous. You can't.
Oh
even,
yeah, my
I tried it one time. I never did again. Yeah.
Dave,
My buddy,
can Logan do a Fiberlize commercial while you got him sitting there?
He doesn't need Fiberlize, believe me. He'll fart on command though if you ask him.
Armon, you ever tried it?
Cut one.
So for the young kids out there, like I get asked on TikTok constantly. They don't understand. So one of my good close friends own one of the biggest peptide companies. I mean, they advertise everywhere. I mean, every single site. All he was doing was he didn't know what it was. It was just one big bag of one peptide only, whatever they sent. And he would make, 15 different peptides out of it. He hired his maid to label them all day, sit in a room all day and label them. And he used to give me all these peptides. I'm like, dude, none of these work. I'm like, GRHP6, I'm not getting hungry. My girlfriend's not getting tan. Like, he goes, oh, I don't know. They're supposed to be good. I'm like, and then he kind of told me what he was doing later. I'm like, dude, so knowingly, I was your coach and you gave me, I'm like, I should kick your ass.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's why I tell people, look, unless you're going to get it from like an HRT clinic, which it comes compounded from a pharmacy, you can't trust these black market sources.
That's funny, Armon. That's funny. Holy shit. The guy's giving you fake shit. He's your boy.
It's very, dude, it was very, very few companies. I mean, I remember the only way that I was able to validate my shit when I used to distribute them is because I had HPLC
That's
reports.
the only way you can do it. Yeah, that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, the HPLC reports. So whenever somebody used to trash my company saying it's like, hey, you know what? You're selling bogus peptides. I was like, I'm not going to tell you who in the University of Irvine, California is actually doing it for me. But,
all right.
It's legit.
I got to wrap this up because we have Hurricane coming a little later today. And I want to thank Armon for joining us. You're welcome back anytime, Armon. It was great. Hearing some stories from you and catching up.
Good seeing you, Armon.
And
good seeing you guys.
Armon, Greg says you're a good dude.
Yeah, Greg said you're a good dude, so you
like
must be good.
Wait, and Armon, make sure you have your phone ready because he's gonna fucking bomb us with new voice messages. We gotta save all that shit.
He's gonna know someone in Dallas that's gonna come to my house and kill my whole family tonight.
Oh yeah.
I think we should all chip in and buy Jimmy the Bull a King Cullen gift certificate. so that he can go back and buy some blueberries and whatever else he needs over there. some red meat. I was thinking of sending him Omaha steaks because he likes those fatty steaks, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's like his favorite.
Does
thing.
he take blood pressure medicine?
He should though. He definitely should.
It's funny because we always watch the show, and every time he comes on, my 3-year-old son goes, loud.
Yeah, he is very loud. Logan likes
remember,
that.
he took
likes
his
loud.
blood pressure last show and was high as fuck, and then he got off. He's like,
he
fuck,
had to get off the show.
Hey, John, did you take your blood pressure medication when the Bills got their asses kicked by the Dolphins? This week?
I'm going to comment. I'm going to say one thing about that. Okay, first of all, half the team was injured, and then the other half of the team got fucked because of the Miami Heat. So the Heat in Miami is what beat Buffalo. It wasn't anything the Dolphins did. And anyone normal with a brain watch that game knows the Bills outplayed the shit out of that team. So
I hate to say, but it's baseball.
Dude,
fellas.
Allen was throwing
Baseball.
shit. Allen was throwing fucking.
Listen, you have a quarterback. You have a quarterback that played one good quarter in his entire career. So shut the fuck up.
NFL Inside NFL will take place at the on the follow up to this show. Stay tuned to the John Bravo Network for that. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo with Greg Valentino, Armon Adibi, John Romano, John Bravo, Richard Rodriguez, Logan, myself, and Tyler. We might not be here next week if we get blown away by the hurricane. So I'm just saying.
We'll be praying for you, Dave.
Thank you very much, guys. And we're going to go batten down the hatches. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
All right,
Take it
guys.
easy.
I
Y'all
gotta go
take
hit
care.
the dentist. I'll talk to you.